Welcome to your TRX 15-minute core workout. The whole focus of this 15-minute workout is really focusing on all the muscles to stabilize your spine as well as strengthen your core. Your first exercise is the TRX resisted torso rotation. Shorten the suspension trainer to mid-length. Grab one handle with your right hand, align your left shoulder to the door anchor. Step your left leg forward and your right leg back. We'll be performing 10 repetitions. You're going to start by aligning your hands with your chest, extend your arms out from your body and bring it back in. Let's begin, and 1, back in, 2, back in. If you're not feeling tension through the side of your body, walk your feet slightly closer to the anchor point. Make sure you're bracing your core and extending those arms straight. There's 6, back in. Eye gaze straight. 7, 8, don't forget to breathe. 9, last one, and 10. Great job. Let's switch the sides. Let's grab the handle with your left hand. Align your right shoulder to the door anchor. All right, let's step the right leg forward and the left leg back. Walk your feet towards the door to find your appropriate angle. Hands at chest. Ready, and begin. Extend out and in. Remember, focus on resisting rotation here by bracing your core and squeezing those inner thighs slightly. Walk those feet towards the door anchor if you're not feeling the resisted portion of this movement. 5, excellent job. 4 reps left. Extend those arms. 3, don't forget to breathe. 2, last rep, and excellent job. Relax. We are going to go back to the right side one more time, and we're going to focus on holding the extended position for a breath. So left shoulder aligns to the door anchor, right hand grabs the handle, other hand wraps over top, the leg and top steps forward. So what we're going to do is 10 repetitions. You're going to extend the arms out, take a breath in, exhale, and pull back in. And let's repeat that for 9 more repetitions. So really focus on a breath in and a breath out with the arms extended to really settle down your breathing and really focus on activating that core. Again, if you don't feel any tension in the side of your body here, just move your feet closer to the anchor. Make sure you're bracing your core and extending those arms straight. 5, excellent job. Don't forget to breathe. There's 6, 4 reps left. Extend those arms. 7, you don't need a lot of angle here because the focus is just light engagement of the core. Reach out, breathe in, breathe out, extend back in. Don't forget to breathe. That left side one more time. Switch the sides. Right shoulder aligns with the anchor. Left hand grabs. Step the leg closest to the door forward. Hands to the center of your chest, find your angle, and extend out. Breathe in, breathe out. So lightly bracing everything in your body. You should feel your shoulders igniting here. You should feel your obliques kicking in. Gently squeezing your abdominals at the same time. So think of having a light to medium tension throughout your entire body. Your body should be turning on fairly quickly here, getting ready for those advanced movements we're going to move into. So really focus on a breath in and a breath out with the arms extended to really settle down your breathing. Make sure you're bracing your core and extending those arms straight. Don't forget to breathe. Finish up nice and strong. All right, next exercise, we're going down to the ground to the TRX crunch. Lengthen the suspension trainer to mid-calf. We're going to be ground facing away from the door. We're going to suspend both feet into those foot cradles. We'll be performing 10 repetitions, in for 1 and out for 2. We're going to demonstrate 1 repetition. Perform from your hands, lift your hips, and drive both knees into your chest. All right, let's get set, ready, and begin. In and out. In and out. As you move through this movement, option is to go to the forearms or just simply hold this plank. Remember, push through those hands, lift your hips slightly, and drive those knees into your chest. 4 reps left. Here's 4, extend out, stay strong. 3, beautiful job. 2, last 1, in, and relax. Great job. Next exercise is the TRX side plank. You're going to keep those toes in those foot cradles and rotate onto your right hip. You're going to stack your right elbow underneath your right shoulder. In this movement here, you're going to be lifting your body off the ground into a side plank, using that top hand to assist you. Try and keep that nice straight line between your shoulders, your hips, and your ears. All right, let's get ready to begin. 3, 2, 1, and begin. So as you perform this movement, really push through that forearm, lifting that hip away from the floor. Should you need assistance here, place that top hand on the ground to help you with stability and strength. Think of stacking your hips and your shoulders. Option here is to start opening the legs like a pair of scissors. Open and close. Open and close. This is going to provide more of a challenge for your hips and your inner thighs and core stability and relax. All right, let's move to the other side by rotating on your stomach. Make sure your top leg is in front and those handles are parallel. Let's stack your left elbow underneath your left shoulder. Get ready to lift in 3, 2, 1, and lift your hips off the ground now. Option, keep that top hand down or place the hand on your hip. Pull the top shoulder and the top hip back. Keep that body as narrow as you possibly can. Keep pressing through that forearm to lift your hip. Option to begin scissoring the legs now. Press down into those foot cradles as you scissor the legs, open and closed. Beautiful job. Don't forget to breathe. Stay strong through that forearm. In and out, in and out, and time. All right, you have a 60-second rest, and we're going to repeat the crunch and the side plank. So walk it out, catch your breath, grab a drink. So what you should really be feeling here is all the muscles in the side of your body. If you were doing those scissors, you should be feeling your inner thighs and your glutes. So combining some hip strength and some side plank strength. Remember, during those side planks, if you start to collapse through your shoulders and your hips start to drop to the floor, you can use your top arm to lightly press into the ground to help stabilize you. We're moving back to that crunch and side plank combination. During the crunch this time, we're going to start off slow, but then I'm going to get you to increase tempo as we go along. The count is going to be in for 1, out for 2. All right, get those toes in, roll over onto your knees, hands under shoulders. Walk yourself away from the door. Get ready to begin. Lift your body off the ground and begin. In and out. In and out. Now lift those hips, drive those knees in. As you feel comfortable, let's start to pick up tempo. Maybe in for 1, out for 1. In and out. In and out. In and out. 15 seconds left. Keep pushing those hands into the ground. Lift those hips. Drive those feet down. Keep bringing the knees into the chest. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, let's go back to that side plank. This time we're gonna add a hip drop. Let's roll onto your right hip. Get that elbow underneath your shoulder. Lift your body off the ground into that strong plank. Lift in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Down and up. Down and up. As you do this movement, really focus on pressing through that forearm and lifting the hip as high as you can. Keep that top shoulder and that top hip pulled back. Option here is to hold that side plank if you're feeling fatigued through that shoulder. Excellent job. About 10 seconds left. Down and up. Down and up. Stay strong to the finish. And time. Beautiful work. Let's rotate on the stomach. Back to that other side. All right, elbow under shoulder, top leg in front. We'll do those hip drops again after the first 10 seconds if it's treating you well. All right, lift up to that strong side plank, find your balance, and 30 seconds begins now. All right, so start those hip drops. If you're feeling strong and stable through that shoulder, just really focus on small ranges of motion. Hip drops, then drives up. Press through the forearm. Push through those feet. Keep your eye gaze towards the side wall. So pull the top shoulder back. 10 seconds left in this movement. You are going to earn this 60-second recovery in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, so let's take your feet out, walk yourself around. We got a 60-second rest. So let's allow your shoulders and your core to recover. Grab a drink to hydrate. Next exercises will consist of the TRX pike, mountain climbers, and some leg lowering. So we've got 3 more movements to do and 2 sets of each. So right now you should be feeling your entire body, even though this is a core-focused workout. That's the beautiful thing about the suspension trainer, is that nothing is isolated and everything is integrated. So we're working on shoulder stability and core strength as we move through these movements. 25 seconds left in your rest. So start to work your way back down to the ground. Let's get those toes in, and we'll be face down away from the door. Next exercise is the TRX pike. Hands under shoulders. You're going to lift your body off the ground. In this movement, you're going to keep your legs straight, lift your hips towards the ceiling, and drive the body up in a pike position. All right, let's get set. Lift your body off the ground and begin. Excellent job. In, drive out. In, drive out. As you do this movement, remember the options to go down to your forearms or simply hold that pike. Excellent job. Halfway through. Up, extend out. Up, extend out. Keep pushing those feet down. Keep pushing through those hands. 2 more reps. Up, out slow. Last one, pike up, extend out, and relax. Knees down. All right, the next exercise is the TRX mountain climber. We're going back to that hand plank position. In this exercise, notice how the hips lift. You drive one knee in towards your chest while the other leg stays straight. In for 1 and out for 2. Find your plank, lift your body off the ground, and begin. In and out. In and out. Lift those hips. Keep that other leg straight. Keep pressing through those hands. All right, let's start to increase that tempo if you're feeling comfortable. Remember, the option here is to go to forearms or hold that plank. Excellent job. This exercise here is incredibly challenging for the front side of your core. 10 seconds left. Drive the knee. Drive. Push and breathe. In 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Knees down. Great job. All right, let's move back to that leg lowering. Lie on your back. You're going to place both hands into those foot cradles. You're going to extend your arms over your body at a 45-degree angle. You're going to brace your abs, lift both legs up towards the door. We're going to start off nice and slow and then pick up tempo if you're feeling comfortable. So we have 10 repetitions. All right, let's begin now. Down and up. Down and up. All right, if you're feeling really strong, let's lower both legs at the same time. Excellent job. Down and up. Brace those abs. Keep that natural curve in your lower back. Excellent job. Keep bracing those abs and pressing those hands into those foot cradles. Finish up those reps, and beautiful job. All right, you have a 60-second rest, and we are going to repeat that series of pikes, mountain climbers, and leg lowering. Beautiful work. So you're on to your last round. We're gonna finish strong. In any one of these movements here, especially in the pike and the mountain climbers, you have the option to go to your forearms if you're starting to really feel tired through those shoulders. Remember, never sacrifice technique for safety and or speed. All right, we've got 30 seconds left here. So grab that drink of water, start to work yourself towards the ground. Let's get those toes in. You're going to be ground facing away from the door. Let's find that hands and knees position. All right, so we are going to go for 6 pikes. It's going to be up for 2 with a brief pause and back for 2. So think of really slow, resisted movements. 6 repetitions. All right, let's lift our body off the ground. Up, 2, hold, down, 2, pause. Repeat that for 6 repetitions. So slow, controlled strength, keeping those legs as straight as you can. Lightly squeezing everything in your body as you breathe. Remember, breathe and brace. Drive those feet to activate the quadriceps. Beautiful. All right, let's move back to that mountain climber. We're going to start with a slow, controlled tempo, then we're going to increase pace as we move along. Hands under shoulders. All right, lift yourself up into that plank. Ready, and begin. So in, out. Lift those hips. Keep that other leg straight. Keep pressing through those hands. All right, let's start to increase that tempo if you're feeling comfortable. Remember, the option here is to go to forearms or hold that plank. Excellent job. Drive the knee. Drive. Push and breathe. In 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Knees down. Great job. Let's move back to that leg lowering. Lie on your back. Head towards the door. Place those hands in those foot cradles. Lift your knees over your hips. We're going to start off nice and slow and then pick up tempo if you're feeling comfortable. Let's begin now. Down and up. Down and up. Brace those abs. Keep that natural curve in your lower back. All right, let's start to pick up tempo by switching legs at the exact same time. Keep bracing those abs and pressing those hands into those foot cradles. Excellent job. All right, if you're feeling really strong, let's lower both legs at the same time. Excellent job. Down and up. And time. Beautiful job. There you go. Great job on this 15 minutes TRX core workout. Let's take a look at some of the common faults in the exercises from the TRX core workout. TRX resisted torso rotation. The first common fault is having the wrong leg forward. So you really want to make sure that the leg closest to the door steps forward and the other leg steps back. This locks out your hips and keeps the focus on the torso. The next common fault is beginning with the hips dropped. So you really want to make sure you drive the hips towards the anchor point, maintain that nice tall posture, and then begin the movement by extending the arms out and in towards the body. The TRX crunch. We have a couple common faults here. The first one in the crunch is allowing the hips to drop as you extend the feet back towards the door. So you really want to keep the pressure out of the lower back by not overextending. Another common fault is when the shoulders start to fatigue, the chin starts to drop towards the floor and the shoulders start to round. So as you perform the crunch, really think about keeping the weight over the hands and pushing your hands into the ground to maintain that great shoulder stability and that straight line through the body. The side plank. First common fault is that you collapse through the shoulder as you maintain that forearm plank. So as you're holding this movement, really think about creating space between the forearms and the biceps by pushing through that forearm and creating space through your shoulders and your ears. The second common fault in the side plank, it starts to become a hip drop, which means as you're holding this strong static movement, the hips start to sag towards the floor. So really keep driving the hip towards the ceiling to activate the side of the body while simultaneously pushing through that down arm to maintain that straight line in the body. The TRX pike, couple common faults in this movement. The movement becomes the crunch. So during the movement, while you're driving the knees in towards your chest, you start to bend at the knees. In this movement, you want to keep the legs as straight as you can without bending at the knees. TRX mountain climber. The biggest common fault here is sawing, and this comes from not applying equal pressure in those foot cradles. So as you perform that mountain climber, the suspension trainer starts to saw and your feet start to move from side to side. Slow the movement down and really focus on driving both feet into the foot cradles even though only one leg is coming in towards your chest.